Remember last time I did this thing? What happened? You ain't come through. Remember last time it failed. Remember last time, and so you haven't wiped the slate clean, unfortunately. But that's not what God wants for you. He wants you to meet your intended end. He wants you to get to the destiny that he has in store for you, but you have to be able to confront and admit that you are harboring some type of unforgiveness for him. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Book of Brianna, a podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brianna Whiteside, and can I welcome you back to my world? Maybe I should welcome myself back to my world because I'm the one who took the break, not you. You were here, you were waiting for me as I sabbated or took a sabbatical, and I just want to thank you for sticking around. I want to thank you for giving me the grace and opportunity to walk by faith and not by sight, and I thank you for journeying with me. If you are new here, welcome to my world. Welcome to the Book of Brianna. Welcome to Dr. Brianna Whiteside's world. Welcome to, just living for God. Can we say that? Welcome to another level of living for God. I'm so excited to have you here. And if you don't know, this month at BriannaWhiteside.com, we are offering the Good Life Bundle. And that bundle is equipped with 2 ebooks, Good Cries and Loving Boldly. The first is for the person who needs to release, to offload, to be vulnerable, to harness the power and the importance of tears, to cry. Right? You're not a crybaby if you cry. I used to think I was a crybaby, but then God showed me that you need to cleanse yourself, and I created tears. I created your tears to do that for you. And then the second ebook will build you back up after you have completely unburdened yourself with the ebook Loving Boldly. And it challenges you to love God boldly, love yourself boldly, but also love other people boldly after betrayal, hurt, and all the things that go into that. And if you need the Good Life Bundle, because welcome to the Good Life, go ahead and grab your bundle at BriannaWhiteside.com. And while you're there, I want to encourage you to sign up for my mailing list. It's absolutely free. You will become an insider, and you will give me the privilege of doing life with you. Can you do that for me? Go ahead and pause this episode and sign up if you haven't already. And then while you're there, grab your Good Life Bundle. Y'all, I'm so happy to be back. If you can't tell by my smile, I am no longer in that ghetto place of pain that I have been in for almost 2 years now. And in the last podcast that you heard from me, actually talking about the journey, it was the end of June. At the end of June, I revealed that I had moved to Dallas, Texas in 2023 with no plan. The last episode that I actually released last week showed you the behind the scenes of the move. I didn't really edit anything out of there. You saw me crying. You saw me leaving Vegas. You saw a bit of the journey that I drove those 17 hours to Texas by myself. And then I showed you the new apartment that I had gotten when I moved in. Now, y'all, I'm not in that apartment anymore. I have since taken myself to the north suburbs where I belong. I'm not a city girl anymore. Not the city girls, but city girl. I'm not a city girl anymore. And I just thought that it would be great to finally settle in. And it was when I moved into my new place, which is where I am now, that I realized that that is what I had been searching for this whole time. All throughout the years of moving and transitioning and everywhere, going here and there for school, I never felt like I was at home. I never felt like I belonged, and I never felt like I can just go ahead and fully kick off my shoes and relax my feet. And as a result, I never decorated the apartments that I lived in. They were really sterile because I didn't see them as home. No matter how much I tried, something within me knew you're not home. You're not comfortable. You don't get to unburden yourself. But it was when I moved into my current place where all of that shifted. I finally feel like I am home. I finally feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, not just a geographical location, but I am where I'm supposed to be in time and season. And that was really, really, really important for me. And, I just wanted to share that news with you because that is an update. That is, you've been journeying with me. And so I want to be as transparent as possible to let you know I am finally home. I am finally home, and home feels good. Home looks good on me, but that is not why you're here. Before I jump into today's topic, I want to encourage you to like this video. Please like the podcast. That's all I ask for you. I want you to sow a seed of liking the video. That is it. It takes nothing from you. It helps me combat the algorithm, but also gets the word out about my channel. You know, the algorithm will start introducing my channel to other believers, and you want to share the good news of the kingdom and get it out to other people. I would really appreciate your assistance in just sewing a like into this video. Now, y'all, let's get into it. Let's get into it. I am talking about forgiveness this month. I'm talking about forgiveness this month. And I thought that it was so important for me to start talking about forgiving God. Take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. It's not going to be an easy journey. But what I've learned over this last journey that I underwent, exiting my career, was that I harbored unforgiveness in my heart for God. And it wasn't that I didn't love him. It wasn't that, I wasn't committed, because if I wasn't committed, I would have left my career. But I was so angry about the hardness of the journey. I'm always transparent. The last 4 to 5 years have been hellacious for me. I've literally gone down through there. You know what I mean? Snatched my edges back, cried, spit and farted, all the things. And it was consecutive hard years. And as a result of the hardness, the hard years, the dredging, the crying, the disappointment, the falling, the trying to get back up, all of the things, I harbored unforgiveness for God. I didn't forgive him. And it was when we clocked into August, right? And this is fairly recent. It was when we clocked into August that God was like, hey, you're going to have to forgive me here. You're going to have to forgive me for what you thought I would do. You're going to have to forgive me for the imagination that you had of me and what you've also been taught about me. You're going to have to forgive me, because we can't move forward without this being done. And in the vein of transparency, the month of July, I was largely silent. Not just that I went on sabbatical, but even in my own prayer life, I didn't have the words to say. I didn't have the words to prayer. To pray. I was no longer able to offer lip service. And I know we should offer him the sacrifice of praise, but have you ever been in a place where it feels like your words have been slapped out of your mouth? Like literally, you know how people say, I'm gonna slap the taste out of your mouth? I mean, the words just snatched out of your mouth. You don't have the words to speak. You're just so hurt and burdened that, nothing feels like it's gonna be sufficient to utter. That was my season, but last month, and my prayer consisted of one word: help. Help is a powerful prayer too, and I learned that. And it was in the month of July where I'm going on my solo trip, my retirement trip that I call it, and I'm sitting alone, and I'm ruminating over so many things. Did I make the right decision? Why hasn't God come through yet? All of the things that come up when you are obeying and walking on water, that I realized that you are going to have to forgive this journey. As a matter of fact, you're going to have to forgive God for making you who you are. Because just by the very nature of me being me and you being you, you are automatically enrolled into a training camp. And you don't get a say-so about the basic training that you endure. You literally just have to endure it. And I was just like, why does it have to be so hard for me? Haven't I done enough? And it was in these quiet moments where I, just offered help. Please help. Please help. With tears in my eyes, that God was the one strengthening me. I really learned what it meant to be weak and let God be strong for me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I really learned what it meant to just fall apart and just lean back and fall into the arms of God, and just also say that I still don't trust you. Because you have taken me such a hard and long route. You've taken me the scenic route. And, I've seen what you've done for other people. I've seen them get out of their seasons and all the things. Like, I've seen you lift people up. But it feels like for me, you just kept knocking me down. Every time I would try to get up, you would knock me down. And the training was just so hard. And we had to work through that forgiveness. And it wasn't even us working through whatever, I can be honest. He was working through it with me. He was the one initiating certain things. He was the one who, just didn't forcefully force anything. It was just this love affair, this thing where I'm just like, I'm not okay. And I'm not okay with the way you've taken me. And I'm not okay with, the command of my life and my purpose. I'm not okay because I've been at this for so long and nothing has worked out for me. I've been at this for so long and nothing has worked out for me. And now here we are. Someone gave me a prophetic word that in 16 weeks it will come to pass. And y'all, let me tell y'all, 16 weeks was up the third week of July. Here we are in August and nothing has begun to make sense and nothing has opened up. And I thought by now you would have showed up because I'd done my part. And it's a humbling experience. It's a hurtful experience. But what I've started to understand is that you cannot go and trust and follow God with harboring unforgiveness. The truth is that He already knows you don't forgive Him. He knows you don't trust Him. He knows you're angry with Him. He knows all of these things. And the unfortunate part of all of that is that sometimes you are the last to know. Sometimes you are the last to know that, hey, you stop trusting here. That what's coming to mind is the story of when Mary and Martha are talking to Jesus about Lazarus, and they're like, if you would have been here, my brother would have lived. He would have been alive. He wouldn't have had to die. And Jesus' response to them was, show me where you laid him. Show me where you laid him. And it's in that moment, those breaks where he's like, show me where you stopped believing. Show me what happened. Show me the moment. Show me where he's resting. And Jesus did that to me. Hey, I know, Brianna, that this has been hard for you. And I know you've been trying your best. And I know I haven't lightened the load at all on you, girl. But let's go back to the point where your heart broke on this journey. As a matter of fact, there were many fractures, right? And it was just so hard for me because here I was showing up for y'all, encouraging you all, trying to study the kingdom and teach it. And I'm doing this. And I was the heartbroken one. I was the one that's like, yo, you were doing so much for so many people, kind of like the elder brother. But what about me? I'm the one who, I've stayed. I've kept on this journey and you haven't rewarded me not one time with anything that I wanted. Instead, you took the last thing that I have for me. And it was with that realization, with those tears that I just had to come before God and say, I have nothing else. I don't know. I'm crying. These are not tears of sadness. I just need to say that because I am out of the sad. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of the sad part of my journey. I am really in, a new place. But I'm tearing up because I remember where I was. Sorry. So I remember where I was. I remember the fight. I remember the crying. I remember the struggle. And I'm so grateful that I'm not there yet, but I was only able to get out of that place with the help of God. Because if it was up to me, I had no more strength. I remember telling my mom one day, and I wrote this on the blog on my website. And if you haven't seen our blog, check it out. It's a really encouraging blog. We drop 2 blogs a week, and I want you to go ahead and tap into it. But I remember telling my mom that I lost my courage. And I think that I'm a really courageous person. Like, I've gone skydiving with a wig on, y'all. I don't know why I did. Well, I know why I did that because we were going, it was one of my friend's birthday at the time and we were going to dinner right after. And so I was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna have on a helmet, y'all. I did not have on no helmet. And I thought my wig was going to end up on the expressway, but that's the story for another time. Anyway, so I see myself as this creative person. I've uprooted my life several times and, it has not been an easy thing, but I've been courageous enough to do it. And it came in July when I'm like, I lost my courage. I can't take another step forward because I don't have no other step. I lost my courage. And it was a hard thing to admit because I didn't think that I could do anything else. But I'm always reminded that God told someone in the Bible to be strong and be courageous. Have I not told you to be courageous? And it takes courage to walk by faith and not by sight, but it also takes courage to forgive God. Because unless you forgive him, you can't go to the next level. Unless you forgive him, you're going to be stuck. And that unforgiveness is going to revisit you on that next level, because that is something you are harboring. You can't fly like with wings like eagles. You can't mount up, because that unforgiveness is going to weigh you down. And when God gives you another command to say, hey, go ahead and do this thing, you're like, remember last time I did this thing? What happened? You ain't come through. Remember last time it failed. Remember last time, you know what I mean? So you haven't wiped the slate clean, unfortunately. But that's not what God wants for you. He wants you to meet your intended end. He wants you to get to the destiny that he has in store for you, but you have to be able to confront and admit that you are harboring some type of unforgiveness for him, that you have not forgiven him for making you the way that he made you and ultimately wiring you to want something that you may not even want. I had that moment of confrontation. I had to confront, I don't even want this life. Let me just be clear. I was living the life I wanted. My life was doing exactly what I set it up to do. However, it wasn't doing what he wanted for the next few years. So he's like, Bree, I'm gonna have to stop this. And now it's time for you to live version 2.0. And I'm like, 1.0 is good. You know what I mean? 1.0 is actually just fine. But if you're honest, you know that you are wired for 2.0. You are wired for 3.0. And I don't know how long this next season will be for me, this whatever it is that I'm stepping into, because it hasn't unfolded. I don't know. And it's going to be another 10-year situation where I'm going to come out at 44. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm willing to journey to find out. I want to know how the book of Brianna ends. And you should want to know how your book ends. And the reason why I say book is because there are books written about us in heaven. As a matter of fact, in the New Testament, it says, you are a living epistle being read by men. So people are reading in real time your story. What will your story say to them? How is your story encouraging them? How is your story impacting the world, your family, whoever is around you? You should want to know how it ends, because it could be that you've been in the chapter of your life for too long. You were supposed to be 10 chapters ahead by now. But because of the lack of courage and also because of unforgiveness, you may have caused your life to stutter. And could that be why you may be unhappy in your current season? And could that be why you may feel like I'm supposed to be further than this? Could all of that be why? I don't know. Only you know that answer. I know that was for me. I was so stuck in unforgiveness, and it wasn't until I had really surrendered that part of my heart and trusted God to mend me back together that I was truly able to step into the things that he is having for me on this level, on this side of that decision. And I just wanted to come and update you and ask you to consider, are you harboring unforgiveness against God? Are you harboring that in your heart? Because the truth is if you are, he already knows. And he probably just sent me as a messenger to encourage you to come into his presence and work it out. Work it out. Because you can't move forward freely if you are carrying all those bags. So it's time for us to lay down the unforgiveness. And the first person that we're going to have to forgive is God. I hope this has encouraged you. I hope this has inspired you to step forward in what he's called you to do, but also let go of the things that no longer serve you, which is unforgiveness towards your Father and your Creator. If it has, please like this video, share it with a friend, listen to it again, drop me a comment. And also remember, subscribe to my newsletter. I want to do life with you, and grab the Good Life bundle today. You can do all that at BriannaWhiteside.com. I'll see you soon. Bye.